Today we're reacting to Alpharad's perfect Nuzlocke, attempting the perfect Pokemon Nuzlocke.
Not easy, as they're riddled with seemingly random impossibilities that have plagued me, Wolfie, Jaden, and several Poketubers out there. But the scariest part is the one thing we all have in common: none of us are safe from him!
Oh, but if you have the quick plot. So a couple things. Number one, you can play better. I feel like you do need a certain level of skill to pull off the cockiness like that. Alright, chill out, please. Jesus Christ, man. That's me! That's literally me! This is the reason that I recommend Fire and Leafkin for your first games, because even if you play like that, you can beat that game.
This completely unknown YouTuber, Pokemon Challenges, has apparently made a career from atop his tower built upon thousands of hours of Nuzlocking. And out of sheer spite, I set out on a journey to attempt the perfect Nuzlocke, not only to redeem my first run, but to prove that Nuzlocking is really easy, if you're willing to be really boring. So I went and studied through all of the Nuzlocking resources I could, from the best starter, to the best team, to even this lonely wizard's personal preferences. I was ready now for
God, I love cat boys.
So I grabbed Pokemon Leaf Green and set out to complete the perfect Nuzlocke with everything he could ever ask for. And when I say everything, I mean everything. Thanks for unpausing the video, Yawn. And now it's time to start the perfect Nuzlocke. Our journey starts like any other. Named our player Alpha, named our rival Jan, and shows the best possible starter for our Nuzlocke. Oh, and this run is going to feature a few custom rules. Ignoring the obvious ones, battle mode is on set, level caps are in play, and items are banned. So when it came time for our first battle, it sure happened. Wait, he's faster? It was a speed tie the whole... But that doesn't sound like a perfect Nuzlocke to me. If you're watching on my channel, be sure to subscribe if you haven't. It helps out a lot. But if you're watching on someone else's channel who is shamelessly...
Yes, please subscribe to me. It will really help me out. Let's get back into it. For more daily content, by the way.
Reacting to it, leave them. Come over here, drop a like, leave a subscription. You're welcome here. And be sure to let me know in the comments which channel you abandoned. Thanks! So on the next attempt, Funko Pop 4 stormed through that puny Charmander, and we set off to capture our first encounter, a Rattata named Diddy Kong. And he has guts. Mankey's also a good catch, but essentially fodder for later. Then after catching Switch Sports the Pidgey, our team looked good. At this moment, I started thinking about what our team would look like for the Elite Four, and came up with an idea. 2 separate teams. I'll start collecting the strongest encounters I possibly can in preparation for the end game, but then keep them safe in the PC in order to protect them, while beating the rest of the game with, well, whatever else I find. So I'm looking online, right? And I think our best catch would be a Pikachu, but there's only like a 5% chance of that.
And it felt fitting to name this one Mudkip.
Oh no, it's time for the first gym leader and we're under-leveled. Whatever shall we do?
Take the rare candy pill.
Long story short, grinding is cringe and cheating is based. And this Brock fight will be brought to you by Honey. If you don't have one of the starting sweepers, this is the hardest fight of the early game. But luckily, I have the best of the best, Bulbasaur. Bulbasaur's Vine Whip can one-shot Brock's Geodude and Onix. However, he leads with Geodude, which allows for the potential Bulbasaur sweep. Sort of how Honey allows you to save money by pressing a single button at the top of your browser. This free online shopping tool automatically searches for promo codes, so you don't have to. I need to hit the enemy Geodude so it can die a quick and painless death, and I achieved that by playing the game as intended. Almost as convenient as Honey, which works on most of the sites you're already using. Since I know you're buying things online, why not save some money while doing it? Are you really gonna act like you don't feel a bit of a rush when saving a little money? With Geodude's fully depleted health, I can now safely continue using Bulbasaur and start my sweep. What really enables this is not just the insane damage output, but also Onix's horrendous speed. Unlike the speed of Honey, which saves you money near instantly, we can then take the free kill on Onix. Here's a question: what does your own money and Funko Pop 4 the Bulbasaur have in common? That's right,
Both can benefit from saving up to 10% off of buying Pokemon cards online.
Brock then gives us our first gym badge, which made me really happy. Much like how you can make my sponsors very happy by going to joinhoney.com/Alpharad, or by clicking the link in the description to start using using honey and start saving money today. Thank you to Bulbasaur for enabling otherwise an incredibly hard to achieve zero death Brock, and thanks to Honey for sponsoring this video. One Ivysaur later, and it's time to spend our Route 4 encounter on a gifted Magikarp. Throughout Mount Moon, we have to pick some key items, but the cave itself went by fairly quick. Our next stop was Cerulean City, which features the second gym and a feared rival battle. And it's pretty hard for where we're at. I know they open with Pidgeotto, but what do we have? Oh, we have Pikachu. So this battle actually isn't that bad now. We open with Pikachu. Actually didn't think that far ahead. One by one, his team fell. Look, I know you want to see the YOLO, yeehaw, reckless gameplay that lost my randomized run, but don't worry. I'll start throwing for content again soon. But first, I need to prove how easy this baby game truly is. After a mere morsel of cheating, we were ready to tackle Misty's gym with the utmost of confidence. Okay, so that wasn't too bad. 2 badges down, and I was hungry for a third. But first, we had to conquer Nugget Bridge, assist Bill in his fetish dungeon, and sprint down to Vermilion City. In desperate need of a ground type for Lieutenant Surge, I went to Diglett Cave and unfortunately caught a Dugtrio who was well above the level cap. Aboard SSN awaits a fateful battle for us. Not only is our rival ready to throw down, but this is the exact same fight where we lost our first soldier in the previous run. Making it through this unharmed would not only show my growth as a trainer, but more importantly, my resolve to be the pettiest Nuzlocker imaginable. But this run is far from over. With the third gym in our immediate path, it was time to endure the worst fucking stupid bullshit goddamn puzzle ever conceived by man. But before we were ready to battle Lieutenant Surge, we had to poison our beloved Eradicate, which might sound odd, but hey, so does Guts. I definitely lose in the speed. Wait, no I don't. Okay, Raichu's dead. Salutes. It felt good to have like a strategy. So now it's time to pull up your search engine of choice. All right, so now we're out of there. You're welcome for skipping through that, by the way. After catching some less than exciting Pokemon, we made it to Celadon. I accepted the gifted EV and decided to box it immediately because if our final team has any significant weaknesses, we can just evolve it. Then after tearing through Erica's gym with one silly little bird, it was time to collect TMs the only way I knew how. Yes! And we won't use them until the end because I remember what happened last time. But now it's time for the Rocket Hideout. And wow, that sure happened. Oh, and speaking of transitions, now we're in Lavender Town and fighting our rival. Wow, this is easy. So last run, I named Ghastly after a Pokemon of mine who has died. But if you look around, there aren't any deaths this run. So let's name Ghastly after what really dies when you sweat this hard.
Yes, it is.
One dead mom joke later, and the past has finally returned to haunt me. If you remember in my last run, Sabrina is where everything went horribly, horribly wrong. We paved a path built in arrogance while dismissing the cracks of reality. At the time, I thought I played to my outs, but oh, how wrong I was.
He has a almost unleveled Snorlax right here in the back who literally like clowns on this entire gym.
Luckily this time I had a plan. No friends. But my actual plan was that our poison Diddy Kong was more than capable of overcoming Sabrina's entirely physically frail team. So when we came face to face with the same Alakazam who took everything from us, I felt like the only way to protect the rest of the team was through our first sacrifice. I was willing to sack it. But with that future sight, our beloved Eradicate was spared by the horrendous AI. We collect our 5th gym badge and the perfect Nuzlocke is still on. Look, a Master Ball with 0 deaths on the record. We were looking pretty good. We caught a Snorlax, collected a Super Rod, and swiftly made it to our next victim. And that's the 6th gem with only 1 death. Oof, God, I forgot to mention something. In Silphco, we unfortunately ran into our rival and a bit under level 2. So we sacrificed our starter to make it out alive. And if you can't tell, I lost the footage. But this blood served as a reminder. Nuzlocks are void of emotion. Pokemon are no longer friends. They are weapons. Machines of mass destruction.
What did he do
Is
there?
this how it's supposed to feel? No longer relating to the mortal shell, disassociated by emotion? I had a choice to sack a weaker Pokemon, but I had to send a message to the rest of the team. If the starter isn't safe, nobody is. This team works for me and not the other way around. There is one way out of this run, and it is through sacrifice. Our Safari Zone encounter is And just like that, the first piece of our Elite Four team has revealed themselves. One of the strongest weapons we could possibly ask for. So after running a few errands, I had something a bit serendipitous happen to me on the way to Cinnabar Island. And by that, I mean I got lost, only after running into the encounter of a lifetime. I thought I would be highlighted on Pokeball, and I knew if I pressed down once, it would give me a Great Ball. But the cursor was on Great Ball. After making it to the island, we revived Real Sport, the Aerodactyl, trekked through the Pokemon Mansion, and challenged Blaine. At this point of the run, I felt like it was fine to start playing carelessly. Losing Pokemon doesn't break the perfect run. Their presence is replaceable and their deaths are forgettable. We only have 2 simple gyms in our path and an entire team waiting in the wings for the Elite Four. If they weren't making it to the finale, why would I care about their well-being? Each Pokemon we've caught so far serves one purpose and one purpose only: to make me a champion! If all of these sacrifices are intended, then how is it any short of a perfect Nuzlocke? This is a binary scale. Winning is a binary state of being. There is no gray area. Either you triumph a hero, or your story never gets told. Losers are not remembered. So when challenging the final gem, our masterful Slowbro quickly made works of everything Giovanni threw at us. Because when you come prepared, it's that easy. With one more rival battle separating us from Victory Road, why, that's a single righteous sacrifice away. Good thing these things can be oh so easily replaced. In fact, I will even call this an upgrade. Now it was time to display our catalog of badges as I permitted access to this forsaken cave and had perhaps the most fateful encounter yet. In case you're unaware, perhaps one of the most infamous moments of Nuzlocking history occurred in my last run, and the whole world laughed. So how fitting is it that this lone soldier was our final encounter? Unfortunately, our Elite Four team has already been perfectly molded, as if God himself smiled upon it. But what if we took Onyx? Well, if I were to do that, it would be the pettiest move imaginable. Oh, wait. And now it's time for the Elite Four. Our first battle was against Lorelei. Magneton could execute the competition with exceptional ease until handing off the baton to Slowbro to finish the job. Bruno quickly challenged us, but unbeknownst to him, that would be the last task he would ever complete. Slowbro returned to the field unsatisfied he had to share the spotlight, so naturally, he exterminated the rest of Bruno's team. Upon hearing the news, Agatha did everything she could with her ghostly powers to stop us, but it was an attempt of little merit from a third-rate trainer with a fourth-rate team. Her Gengar took the stage, but what can they really do against a Snorlax with Shadow Ball? Switching around each new obstacle, eventually it was up to Nidoking to speed this process along and leave Agatha and her team on the ground behind us. With one trainer remaining between us and the championship match, Lance better make this quick. Of course, dragons weren't going to be easy to deal with unless you were the hungry Slowbro, whose bloodlust has yet to be quenched. A few ice beams later, and Lance's last legs began to break and eventually collapse. It's time. It's finally time. A run built in redemption will soon come to an end. So the glasses were enough for the Elite Four, but I think we need something a little more for the champion, right? Knowing that our rival was going to lead with Pidgeot, this seemed like a simple operation for Magneton. As expected, this would immediately drag out his ace, Charizard, who is 4 times weak to rock. Look, all he has to do is take one hit, and then watch as Quick Claw activates. Quick Claw it didn't kill. Okay. So maybe Onyx does suck. Yeah, okay, maybe, yeah. And after failing to redeem Onyx, which, let's be honest, we're never living that clip down, Gyarados soon cleaned up the mess of Charizard swiftly before dragging Rhydon down to hell with them. When presented with a creature made of paper bones and magic spoons, Snorlax delivered a finishing blow that would ring true for generations. Jan was getting desperate. An Executor? Really? Is that all you have for us? This is embarrassing. You are supposed to be a champion, but you're not even playing around my crit range. Oh, I see. You saved your Gyarados for last, out of sheer embarrassment. You know how this one goes, don't you? And just like that, the perfect Nuzlocke comes to a successful end. But is this the ending that I truly wanted? If I can be completely honest with you. Yeah, I still prefer using legendaries and losing.
What is the meme? Hold on, what meme am I thinking of with Alpharad right now? It's this meme.